Ermes versus Michael Todd next in an event coming up. Everyone's thoughts on who wins that.
I like Michael Todd. I like the King's move, but Ermes is on another. When he pulled Michael, I don't think he was much bigger than probably 90, 95 kilos. My lower forearm is his wrist. I mean, he's going to have good hand control, good cup control. And he's pulled with Mike before, so I think he kind of understands how to approach it. I think, Mike, Ermes is probably not a very good match for Mike, in my opinion.
Realistically.
Yeah. I think he's got the key. I think he's got the keys to that box.
Who wins between Ermes and Chaffee, in your opinion?
Now we're talking difference. Yeah.
It's different.
I would probably put my money on Chaffee. I would put it on Chaffee. Yeah. Just because his hand is so strong coming across like that. Ermes, yes, great high posting top roll, but yeah, Dave might be just a little bit too much. Obviously if Ermes was able to keep Dave's wrist straight, even just straight, he wouldn't have to break it back. Ermes would probably control that match and be able to win it. Yeah, I think he's strong enough side pressure wise to win the match, but I think Dave would still be able to maintain his cup and side pressure. As soon as it started moving that direction at all, that would be over. It would be a super fine line. That center point would be so critical one way or the other that either one could possibly win. But I just think Dave's hand and wrist would be strong enough to maybe reel in Ermes top roll. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know. I hold Dave and super high up and as far as the rankings go. I mean, I know there's guys that frustrate him and have cracked him with that King's move thing, but Dave is in a league. Only a few people are in that same strength category.
Hey guys, is Chaffee pulling Derek?
Yes.
So I think that match will give us more answers than anything else. Because
what kind of answers? What kind of answer are you looking for?
So if Derek,
Derek is,
if Derek can crack something or does something or whatever, Derek, he will try to top roll. But I just think Ermes can do it faster, a little more speed. So if something moves in his hand, I will give a little bit more to Ermes, but I still think Dave.
If you're saying if Derek moves Dave's hand,
that's a big if.
How do you see the match going, John? How do you see Derek versus Dave? What does it look like?
Oh, Dave just shuts him down and just sweeps him to the side. And if it's anything a little bit of hook, doesn't have to be a pure hook. I mean, I feel like if I cared about rankings, sign me up for Derek now. I mean, I just feel like there's a technique and a lane that I wouldn't even have to be in shape. And just hooking Derek is kind of the easy way. And I think Dave is going to be super capable. I mean, then again, sometimes Dave sets himself up to possible failure because he grips so fairly. I mean, if he knew what I know, I think that he could shut Derek down pretty easy. But we'll see. I guess I shouldn't. I guess I'm speaking publicly that maybe I shouldn't speak so.
Ermes versus Cadorette. The second time we've had that same question, and I'm going to put it your way, John, because you know both lads, and obviously you've had massive experience of the freak factor that is Jerry.
My memory of Jerry is 5, 6, 7 years old, and I mean, if Jerry's gotten better, which I have no reason to believe that he wouldn't get a little better. I always think that people are pretty much who they are, and even as much as they talk about how much better shape they are, that they're pretty much the same, same person. But yeah, I don't know. Ermes Ermes is so solid upper arm wise and strength that I just feel like once even if he let Jerry get that flop in and top roll, I think that Ermes has enough power to take Jerry down. But Jerry's got that weird spot if Ermes isn't careful. Obviously, Ermes is never. Jerry's a unique arm wrestler. I mean, people, there's an easy, well, not an easy way, but there is a easier way to beat Jerry than the normal, typical way that you would think that you should or need to arm wrestle. But I'm not sure Ermes knows that. So Ermes could possibly get into trouble. But I feel like Ermes would be explosive enough to make sure that Jerry didn't ever get behind his arm. He never got the offensive position. But yeah, I would bet my money on Ermes.
Would a Mike versus Jerry match make sense? I think it's got to do, hasn't it?
It's always everybody loves that match, right? It's a 10-minute long match. It's a great match to gamble on, right? Because you get to sweat it out for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Pure adrenaline, pure excitement, and it really can go either way.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's like, who cares? But I mean, if you're a gambling man, there's nothing better than to sweat it out that long.
But would John pull Michael Todd? And does John think he can beat him?
Yes. And does it matter? Yes. I would think that I think I have chances to beat him. Why would I tell my family to bet their life savings on the fact that I would beat him? Probably not. But I think I've got chances to beat Michael. Maybe not in 6 rounds. I would beat him a couple matches. Well, I said that with Devon too. I fell short of that. I think it's a good match.
Who's the easier match for you? Who's the easier match for you if you're in full shape and everything's crisp? Do you think Michael's a much easier?
I never could. Michael's much more satisfying. I mean, I would feel like I actually pulled hard and strong and was able to get in positions to, I would be fatigued and upset, and wore out and feel like I didn't play the chess game correctly if I lost to Mike. Devon just shut me down. I mean, just took it all away from me right from the get-go. I feel like I would have a much better chance against Michael than pulling even Devon again.
What if the weight limit is 100 kilos against Devon?
I don't know if that matters so much. Devon, if he's strong and he can make things very uncomfortable for me. I don't know if strength was so much a factor with Devon. I didn't mind him being heavy. I just didn't feel comfortable where I could even begin to control the match and apply what I felt like I could apply. I'm not sure weight would make a difference. I mean, yes, of course it would make a little bit of a difference, but I don't know. I'm not thinking about Devon until he beats Levan, and then I go after him. I'll be 400 pounds.
John, with the form you're in right now and answering questions, can you expand on that Devon v Levan match? How do you see it?
Yeah, do you think he has a chance to win?
I think no. I believe that Devon has a chance. Watching him pull all of Texas and he just seems to be getting better and stronger. And I just think that he might get that stick on the bottom end. I mean, that pronation, I won't call it King's move, but that spot. And if Levan can't quite finish it, then it's Devon's to win. I mean, so I can see where Devon could win that. I think Levan for sure is going to take Devon right to a centimeter of the pad. So it's gonna depend on the table, the rules, and how much Levan is educated on conserving energy and all the tactics that come along with Devon. Yeah, the incredible thing with Levan, and I'm still not completely sold that he's got tremendous arm strength. That he's got crazy cupping strength, and that's what's going to shut down Devon's sticking, his latest and greatest, stick.
John, you got a match coming up. Let's have a little roundup before we do jump off here. You got a match coming up in Norway, and it's quite a big match. Obviously, you're facing the Enigma of Rage, Engin Terzi.
Mm-hmm.
How big of a threat is Engin?
Yeah, he's a threat, but I haven't been able to train very much because I've had so many super matches, and I know that I've said that I use the super matches for building strength, but I really need to. I got all this new equipment, I got all these new handles and some cable systems and all this crazy stuff that people keep sending me that really has been untouched. So I almost want to go into the match with Engin while I'm still training, and there's a good possibility that Engin might just kick my ass just because I'm taking him seriously. I don't want to say that I just don't. I'm not taking him serious, but this whole thing kind of got set up as a kind of a fun exhibition type thing because I was going to be there and then he's going to be there. So, I'm going to come in prepared and strong, and I'm going to be serious, but I'm not going to be the well-rested self-prep guy that I typically would be, like I did for Zolov and many of the other super matches that I've had. So this should be interesting. It'll be fun. I'm taking it serious, but I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone and train hard and train right up probably a week before the match with Engin. So we'll see if how that all turns out.
So John, Laletin and Kurdecha, who have you got?
Yeah, well, we all know how good Vitaly is, but Kurdecha, we have no idea. He just is on such a huge upward trajectory that I wouldn't be surprised if Alex beat him. I think that he's improving so quickly, and he's such a huge natural talent that I think it's possible to beat Vitaly, and Vitaly is arguably just right there next to Levan. As the best of the best.